Alright, ladies and gentlemen, official confirmed, João Félix is a Chelsea player. They did not mess about, did they? They really moved very, very quickly on this one, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Football Therapy. Yes, with me, your host, Jan. Hope you're doing well. I really do hope that, and regardless of your opinion on whether this fixes anything, it's a high-profile, sexy transfer. The artists arrived, they said. We're going to react to Chelsea's statement, talk about it a little bit, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight of some stuff. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for dropping a like on the video. It means a lot. I do genuinely, really do appreciate all your support and interaction. So thank you for liking and subscribing, and let's jump into it. So, we need midfielders, we need a backup right back, heck, we need a centre forward, but we've bought a mercurial floaty second striker attacking midfielder, much like Kai Havertz. I had the pleasure of talking to Atletico Universe, the social media account, and he gave me some insight on what Atletico Madrid fans think of this, which I might give you a little bit of insight at the end. But let's quickly see what Chelsea are saying. Portuguese attacker João Félix will be part of the Chelsea squad for the remainder of the season, having moved to Stamford Bridge on loan from Atletico Madrid. Excuse me, the 23-year-old previously played for Benfica and his homeland before switching to the Spanish capital in the summer of 2019 for a record fee for both clubs. They've done alright, Benfica, haven't they, in selling players. Also, I'll quickly say it now, Enzo Fernandez had an amazing game yesterday and spraying long balls, scored a free kick, kissed the badge and said, I'm staying. Blech. We move on. We're not going to hold on to that. We're going to move on. Of course, as a teenager, that season he was bought, he had 22 league goal involvements in like 20 appearances, so he didn't, so more, yeah, and it was like, yeah, and even less minutes. It was a really good return in the Portuguese league as a young teenager, which I think saw him go for £120 million. Teenager back then. This isn't like Darwin Núñez scoring loads of goals. This is younger than that, and this is back then. It was a mental transfer, like it blew everyone's minds. Sorry, it's snotty, gross, I apologise. A skillful and stylish attacker, much like me. João Félix is most effective when roaming fluidly across the forward line and involving himself in the build-up play. Right, just Kai Havertz, isn't it? It's just Kai Havertz. On moving on loan to Chelsea, João said this, quote, Chelsea is one of the great teams in the world. You're not wrong. And I hope to help them reach their objectives. Mate, we are coming from 8th place. No one can stop us. I am very, very happy to be here and very excited to play at Stamford Bridge. Well, that's not a generic comment at all. João Félix was part of the Atletico side, which claimed a La Liga 2 seasons ago, and as a teenager at Benfica, he was also a league champion in his debut saison. Bamala. As well as team glory, the Portuguese international has been recognised individually with his 2019 Golden Boy Award, honouring him as the best young player in Europe. No joke. Good, I mean, genuinely. He was also named Atleti Player of the Season last term by the club's supporters. Well, that's nice. At the FIFA Qatar World Cup, João Félix scored a vital goal in Portugal's opening game, a 3-2 winner over Ghana, and he provided 2 assists in that tournament. Pretty good. He already has 28 caps to his name. Welcome, João. What a interesting blockbuster and possibly unnecessary signing for Chelsea Football Club. Now, I spoke to my friend Amir, who's the Atletico Universe Twitter account, for a feature for the Byline, and I urge you to go check that out. But we spoke about his position, and what we know about João Félix is, I keep saying he's very similar to Kai Havertz because he is. They're both floaty, play between lines, play between positions, use both feet players, like to score, like to assist, never really have insane amounts of goals or assists, although Kai did at Leverkusen. When I asked about his position, he said second striker. Now, that is Kai Havertz's best position. Self-proclaimed, they've both said that about themselves. They can't both play second striker. But like, for example, for Germany, Kai Havertz, when he would move behind the centre forward, he suddenly started playing a lot better, scoring a lot of goals. So what does this mean? Does this mean we buy Marcus Thuram and play one of them behind? I mean, Kai Havertz has been pretty poor for Chelsea recently. I use the example of this for Kai Havertz, and now I'm going to do the same for João Félix, and you might find it quite insulting, but it's very much true, ladies and gentlemen, because a few years ago, I believe when he still was a teenager as well, Dele Alli was very, very good in the Premier League. You don't want to hear it because you can't get a game in Turkey now, and he was bad for Everton and all this kind of stuff. But that season he scored like 17 Prem goals behind Harry Kane because that was his role, the second striker, the dying role that no longer exists. And it worries me. It concerns me because he's coming into the league. He's coming into our league, our English league. No, we're welcoming him into the league, a Galactico talent into the best league in the world. Let's have it right. 6 months, only 6 months in this position where I'm not sure how he's going to play. How is he in a team, by the way, that is absolutely in the friggin' trenches? We are struggling. We are struggling. How are we going to get the best of him? No, look, now that is my cynical, realist to a degree opinion on it. Now, I want to be proven wrong. I've just been burned so many times before by attackers coming to Chelsea and attackers signing for Chelsea in the summer who will have a full pre-season, who have just come off a season where they've scored loads of goals and assisted loads of goals. Werner, Havertz, because he did score loads at Leverkusen, Lukaku, it goes on. Ziyech, insane numbers at Ajax. Buying these players in the summer so they can train and prepare for a season with their new squad, coming off a season where they've just scored and assisted and their productivity's been insane. Don't work. Or none of them. No disrespect to any of them. Maybe a bit to Lukaku. But other than that, like, Werner worked hard, bit of a cult hero. Kai Havertz is a sensational talent, to be unearthed still. Maybe you need a player who, isn't in sensational form, is a bit patchy, and is only coming for 6 months, and, doesn't speak English. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you need all these things to be up against him, rather than thinking you're buying this informed superstar attacker that will have loads of time to bed into the team. No, you've got no time. You're going to be here for like 4 months, and you've got to be good now, even though perhaps you haven't been in scintillating form. Whatever. That's the scenario we find ourselves in with João Félix. How is Mastermind Graham Potter going to implement him? I mean, he could play him as a false nine. He could try and find a way of playing him as a second striker. I think what's most likely is to play him as an inside forward on the left-hand side. Raheem Sterling injured, Christian Pulisic out for a long time. No potential attacker actually been, really, really good. To be honest, yeah. And you're not buying João Félix, by the way, to score goals. And this is something that I've, from speaking to Atletico Universe, I feel a little bit better about because, of course, his numbers have never been insane. But what Atletico fans do defend João Félix for is his creativity. And we do need that. The key pass, the pre-assist, the lines cutting pass. Lines cutting pass? Sounds like drug users. So this is the kind of thing we need. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be Cesc Fabregas sitting back and pinging quarterback balls, but he'll get between the lines and he'll look to play risky attacking passes. And what we do have to hold on to here as well is he's fallen out with Diego Simeone. Now, rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly because you have to respect the gaffer, you look at it from the external view outside looking in and you think, right, here is a superb attacking talent, regardless of your opinion of João Félix, whether his productivity's high enough, whether you think he's going to fit or not, or all these kind of up in the air. What is not up for dispute is he's an incredibly talented young attacker, still only 23. Of course, he's been around since he's a teenager. He's got so much experience, and he's recognised as one of the world's best European footballing talents. That is not up for debate. Bring that with you from a player who's been frustrated at perhaps a more pragmatic defensive style of football. Now, you might think, well, we're 10th and we can't score goals. True, but the truth is it's not our philosophy and attempted ethos and identity to do so. We will want to play with the ball. We're not going to be like, right, you have the ball and we're just going to close the spaces. No, we want the ball. We do want the ball, and we want to score goals and play forward passes. One of the first things Graham Potter said is, after looking at, Tuchel ball, he was like, look, I want to play more forward vertical passes and riskier balls. I want to, reward my players for being brave and taking the risks. And perhaps, pragmatic managers like Simeone and indeed Tuchel, he's pragmatic. They don't want to take risks. They play hard to be beaten. We want to play a team that no one wants to play against. Tuchel's famous quotes, because we didn't concede chances. Obviously that went towards the end and we did concede chances and it did fall apart a little bit, but that's what made Chelsea ground to Tuchel. That's not Potter's ethos. Potter is, I want to score goals and change the shape and get creative and take risks, like his Brighton side did. And like the first few games, it looked like we were trying to do. We were playing differently, and because it was just coming off the the end of the Tuchel reign, you were able to assess that and see, okay, this is different. Say what you want. If you're not a Potter believer, that's totally fine. But the truth is, universally, Chelsea fans, we noticed that difference, certainly at the beginning. So a player like João Félix, he'll come to Chelsea thinking, right, well, at least this team wants to play with the ball, best league in the world, there is talent around me. Granted, it's not perhaps a vintage Chelsea side, but there's talented players there, and I have a chance to, play at Stamford Bridge, and, because of course he went as a teenager to Atletico Madrid, and, I don't know if they'd already moved to the Wanda Metropolitano then, maybe, but that's a new stadium. Of course, Stamford Bridge is, it's not necessarily flashy, but it's like, it's sort of traditional in the Premier League now, and he'll get to play against all these bigger sides, and it would be an experience for him, and provided he's feeling confident, it'll be a great opportunity, and maybe we find a way to make it work. And a really important thing to note is here, Graham Potter's given the thumbs up for this. Matt Law confirmed that, I believe, or I think it was Matt Law. Yeah, I think it was Matt Law. Maybe someone on The Athletic. Certainly a reputable journalist covering Chelsea, a Chelsea correspondent, has confirmed that Graham Potter's thumbs up this. This isn't just Chelsea going, oh my God, we need a player, Todd Bowley and the gang saying, what's a high-profile, shiny new toy? There's probably an element of that, but also Graham Potter's like, yes, I can make this work, and yes, please, can I have him? Because, my attackers are A, not scoring, or B, all ruddy English? No, they're not all English. Injured, that's what they are. So this is an opportunity for him to have something different. He probably watched him a little bit and thought, yeah, I know what this, especially how data-driven Chelsea are now. They probably just put him into the algorithm computer and went, this is what he does, this is the spaces he occupies, this is his tendencies. We can make that work. That will work for us. You have to believe that's what Chelsea have done, and that's what will work. I'm very interested in hearing your fan opinions, so I urge you to drop a like down in the comment section below, and I thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel, Football Therapy, and thank you for continuing with me on this journey together. I love you all very much. Take care. Peace.